Hello, I'm on EAU4 with Angela and Sophie. EAU4 is one of those areas that assesses, treats and diagnoses patients really quickly and helps reduce the pressure on ED. I'm going to have a chat now with Angela and Sophie about what happens on EAU4. So Angela, can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing here to prepare for winter?
So obviously being more aware of sort of respiratory viruses increasing over the winter, flus and COVIDs, making sure that staff, we're swabbing patients efficiently to make sure we're picking up on those and isolating patients and helping with the flow from ED and appropriately placing patients to just help the whole hospital really.
We make sure that a set of observations are done on arrival to the emergency department, which can sometimes indicate if patients are likely presenting with an infection or a virus. We look for things for raised temperatures, coughs, shortness of breaths, which we often see in the winter times, and that gives us a good indication whether we need to be swabbing, mainly to protect patients and other patients on the ward and staff. So yeah, it works quite well. We've got a good system in place.
It must be really busy.
Just a bit, yeah.
That's great.
So how many patients do you get to see every day?
It can really vary on how many beds we get to transfer patients onto the wards. I know particularly the other night, Sophie had a night where she replaced about three people in one bed space during the night. So,
Wow.
So usually in the morning the consultant will sort of ask the nurse in charge if there's any potential discharges. So then we'll highlight them and try and encourage them to make sure that those patients are seen early on, unless there's any unwell patients to be seen. That's priority. And then we can aim to try and get patients out as early as possible, because often the patients themselves are sort of, if they know they might be able to go home, they're obviously keen to get home as well. So
one of the processes you've described, I would say, falls into an acronym that I use, which is SHOP, right? So sick, home, other patients, and then the plan. So what you were describing there is when you meet with the consultant team, so anybody who's desperately sick, you want the consultant to see, they need to be seen first. But the next people in that list would be the people who are going to go home. I think it's important that we try and generate that sort of philosophy within our ward rounds so that we are concentrating on creating the space earlier in the day. So I've looked at numbers. I love numbers, so one of the things that I look at is the numbers. I know if we discharge a third of our patients that we're going to discharge today before midday, and we did that every day, that would free up about 15 beds in the morning, more than we free up at the moment. So it's a real opportunity. It's great work. Thank you very much for that, and more power to you. And it's great talking with you. I hope everything goes well over the winter period.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.